It's the new year, and of course, this is the most popular time of year to make resolutions. And while it's awesome that people want to make changes in their lives, here at Nerd Fitness, we see common pitfalls time and time again. So today, we'll be going over the top 10 things you can do to stick with your resolutions and turn them into life-changing habits. But before we jump in, make sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop a new video. All right, let's go. Number 1, review past resolutions. The first thing to do is reflect back a little bit. Look to last year and your past resolutions. What, if anything, worked well for you, even if it was for a short period of time? And what were challenges there? What potentially pulled you off course? And this might be hard to do, like really hard to do, because it might bring up feelings of guilt or failure because you didn't stick to your resolutions from last year. And at the same time, it's invaluable information to help you improve this year. Thomas Edison has the wonderful quote of, "I didn't fail 1,000 times, I found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb." So look at your past attempts this way. You didn't fail, you just found what didn't work for you. Here at Nerd Fitness, we refer to that as XP, experience points that you earned and nobody can take that away from you. So let's be proud of making it through this past year. Comment XP level up in the comments below. Number 2, be self-compassionate. Along the same lines of reframing past attempts, it really helps to show ourselves a bit of compassion here. Change can be really hard, and we're often so much tougher on ourselves than we would be to somebody else. Imagine if you talked to a friend the way you talked to yourself sometimes. You'd either ditch the friend or punch him in the nose. It's normal to have troubles and setbacks along the way. Any hero's journey will. And at this time, we need to have patience and compassion with ourselves to help keep ourselves moving forward. So, through the ups and downs this year, see if you can curb the negative self-talk and give yourself some self-patience. Number 3, don't rely on motivation. New Year's resolutions are so appealing because it feels good to start something new. But something we need to understand is this burst of inspiration, and you've probably experienced this, is often short-lived. Instead, we need to put specific plans and systems in place for when motivation wanes, which it 100% will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But planning for natural ebbs and flows in motivation can help us get through some of those tougher days. Also, on the good news front, the more you do your goal or your habit or your resolution, the more automatic it becomes. So it becomes easier as you go throughout the year. So we might have this initial burst of energy and then a few obstacles get thrown our way, but the more we do it, the easier it does become. Number 4, set up your environment. On the topic of plans and systems, nothing is going to be more powerful than setting up your environment for success. You know it's tough? Having to think about your new habits and making decisions about those new habits each and every day. You know what's much easier? Setting up our environment so that things become more automatic and we don't have to think about our new habit each and every day. We call this hacking your bat cave. We naturally choose the path of least resistance. So ideally, what we do is the habit that we want to establish, make that as easy as possible, and the thing that we want to replace or get rid of, we make that as challenging as possible to do. Instead of always looking for your gym clothes or exercise equipment, put them in a prominent place where they're much easier to see. Instead of trying to pass on sweets and eat more veggies, you could change how your kitchen and refrigerator are laid out. Put the stuff you want to eat front and center where it's easily visible, and the other stuff, hide it away a little bit, whether it be in the back of the refrigerator, in a high cabinet, or the trash bin outside. Instead of trying to resist scrolling on your phone all night, put it across the room, or in another room. You could use a regular old alarm clock to wake you up in the morning. These are just a few examples of changing your environment. Any changes to your bat cave that you found helpful and would love to share with other rebels, comment below. Number 5, set specific goals with specific timelines. Now, it's okay if we change goals and timelines along the way, but we have to start somewhere so we can build out some sort of plan to figure out where we want to go. For example, I want to get strong can be a bit too general. Instead, try, I want to be able to do a push-up by my birthday in July. That's much more specific. Now, if you've set specific goals in the past, but they've turned out to be too challenging to achieve, this can be a great time to reach out to a coach for help. It's exactly the sort of thing we've helped people do in Nerd Fitness online coaching. People like Sarah, a hospital nurse with an incredibly demanding schedule. She had tried different nutritional approaches and even other trainers, but in her words, I've tried many different fad diets, tracking all my food intake, meal delivery services, etc. But I had an all or nothing mentality with anything nutrition related. A single slip made me feel like a complete failure. I'd then give up and go right back to my old eating habits. I knew I wanted to change, but after years of stagnating, I just wasn't sure if I could do it alone. Sarah was able to work with her Nerd Fitness coach, build a personalized exercise program that worked for her, and overcome her all or nothing mindset around food. We're super proud of all she's accomplished, so give her a shout out below. Number 6, set specific intentions. Now, a lot of people do step number 5. They set their specific goal. But a goal is not a plan. It's just a wish. We need to be able to set specific actions and intentions that lead to our goals. It's these actions and intentions that'll be our focus day in and day out. If your goal is to lose X amount of weight by Y date, then our plan and intention might be to walk 4 times a week and drink a glass of water every day. Make them specific and measurable too, so you can adjust things week to week as needed. And we want it to be easy enough that you can do every day, but also hard enough that it still seems satisfying. Number 7, surround yourself with allies. The people you surround yourself with are part of your environment. So if you surround yourself with people that pull you away from your goals, they're going to be incredibly challenging. I know it can be hard to find supportive and like-minded individuals though. And that's part of the reason we created the NERDFitness JOURNEY app, a place where you can level up your character and share your victories and your challenges with our incredible NERDFitness community. We've seen members lose weight, run their first 5K, and get their first chin-up. It's so incredible to see what the power of an encouraging group can do. Check it out in the links below. Number 8, avoid all or nothing thinking. This mindset is incredibly common when starting a new habit too. We set our goals, we set our intentions, and then life throws us a curveball. And we think we lost the day, or the week, or the month, or the year, and then I may as well wait till next year. Nonsense. This perfectionist thinking is holding you back. So what? We had a bad day, a bad meal, whatever happened, we can pick right back where we left off whenever you can. If your goals and intentions need a bit of an adjustment after they've been tested, that's fine too. You're allowed to learn and grow. Remember that XP. But what we don't want is to just give up completely in frustration. Number 9, don't overload yourself. In your review of last year, did you overload yourself with resolutions? Make a laundry list of things you'd love to change about yourself and new habits you'd love to adopt, and then forget about it a month or 2 into the year? Again, it's great to want to improve so many areas of our life, but we've seen and research has shown time and time again that when there's too many things to focus on, we get too distracted or too overwhelmed, and it all falls apart. So, how many resolutions or goals should we take on at one time? Researchers say no more than 3. And if you look back at last year and you looked overwhelmed or felt overwhelmed, then keying in on 1 or 2 max right now might be our best course of action. This might not feel like you're doing enough, but we already know from past experience that doing too much doesn't work. With a new habit taking around 2 months to really get grooved in and feel more automatic, if we focused on just 2 habits at a time, we're looking at a dozen habits over the course of a year. And that's potentially life-changing stuff, but only if we have the patience with ourselves to start small. Number 10, consider alternative approaches. Even with all these tips, you might find making and keeping a New Year's resolution to be very challenging. So with that, let's consider some alternatives. First is one we've heard from Gretchen Rubin and CGP Grey, and that is the idea of coming up with a word or theme for the new year. So instead of setting up a goal or timeline, which might get blasted into bits 1 month into the year, pick a single word or phrase that speaks to you. Maybe it's healthy or growth, novelty or fun, something that really speaks to you in the new year. Now, you'll want to keep that word first and foremost in your mind. It is so easy to forget things, so give yourself reminders, whether that's a post-it note, having it on a daily calendar reminder, or making it your phone's lock screen. We want that to be front and center to keep our eye and our mind on that theme or word for the year. So now as we go through the year, you can use that word as a guide. So when you have a choice to make, using that word can help you make choices that align with that word or phrase. This way, we're always thinking and acting on our intentions regularly, but it's much more flexible. Another approach is from author Tim Ferriss, who recommends doing a past year review. So grab some paper and make a positive column and a negative column, and you'll go back through your calendar week by week and take note of any people, activities, work commitments, or other things that led to positive or negative emotions and feelings. When you're done, look over your list. For everything in the positive column, plan to add more of that in the new year. And when we say plan, actually commit. Schedule or prepay for those things that really lifted you up. For everything in the negative column, put that in your not to-do list and put that list in a clear place where you're going to be able to see that regularly as well. Reduce and avoid those things that weighed you down, because more of the positive and less of the negative will give you a pretty good year too. So, what do you think? What piece of advice was most helpful to you? Comment below. And if you have any other questions or challenges as we start the new year, feel free to let us know. Now, check out these other videos that will help you. How to improve your workout consistency, and our top 5 nutritional habits for beginners. Take care and Happy New Year!